Starting take two in 3, 2, 1, go! It's so crazy. I didn't even update Twitter nor Facebook right before the show. And Ronnie knows I usually do that to let people know that, the show's starting. So I'm doing it while I'm talking here. It's crazy. I'm like trying to multitask here. Got to use more than one part of my brain right now. But welcome to Take Two, everybody, right here on the Voices on the Net Network. Appreciate having all of you tuned in. We're glad to be here, Ronnie and I. We've got a great show planned for you all. And, yeah, we do, and I'm still typing over here, trying to get the rest of this sentence out while I talk here. But we're glad to be here. Hey, Ronnie, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you? Besides just trying to hurry up and update that site.
Yeah, well, I probably should hurry up, but yeah, I'm doing great. I really am. As I speak, there's a thunderstorm going on. Your type of weather, it literally looks like a scene out of the movie Twister. Really does. It does. It looks like a scene out of the movie Twister, or Night of the Twister, or one of the many Twister movies, tornado movies out there, storm movies out there. But the show must go on, as they say in Hollywood, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But yeah, Ronnie, we are here yet again for another episode. We just surpassed our 28th mini milestone just this past episode of the show. And 28 milestones, 280 episodes, amazing. Can't wait for the next 10. And we're going to have you make it official. You're going to look into that envelope over there. You have it, I'm sure, ready. And we're going to have you make it official, as you do at the beginning of every show. So just hold on a bit. Just hold on a moment while I plug the network. Meantime, if all of you tuned in right now would be so kind, would you all please visit www.vonthenet.com. That is right, the Voices on the Net Network's website, where you, the great listeners, will be able to find more information regarding the Voices on the Net Network. That is right. Yeah, if you go up to the top of the website, you will see the About link. You click that About link, and it will take you to a web page that will provide you everything you need to know pertaining to this network and in thorough detail. So if you're new to the network, you have no idea, absolutely no idea what this network is all about. That web page will give you everything you need to know. Serious, it's a great guide. I just updated it, so if you check it out, you'll learn everything you need to know about this network. You can also check out podcasts of any of the episodes from any of the shows, and they're all available on demand for and at your very own convenience. You can check all of these great features, including great articles, too. Great articles written by, I've got a bunch of them written by me right on the website, adding to the content factor, as I am a writer, too. All of it can be accessed by going to www.vonthenet.com. And you hear the thunder in the background right there. A big thunderstorm going on, and Ronnie loves it. I know, she loves it.
I'm right at home.
Right at home. And she's I don't know, you're about probably, are you about 1,000 miles away? No, it's maybe 700 miles away, maybe?
Yeah,
about
that.
All right, so she's 700 miles away from where I am right here, and she feels right at home. Then again, if she's on the show, she should feel right at home. This is home. This feels like home. Definitely feels like home for me. But Ronnie, yeah, we have to make it official. So are you ready to do so? Do you have that envelope ready over there for us?
Oh, yeah, I've already peeked into it, so I have a little bit of a hint.
All right.
We're on episode 281.
That would be the case. Post-mini milestone time. Yeah, we, of course, just surpassed our 28th mini milestone, episode number 280, which would make this episode number 281. So great to be here. Glad to be here. We've got a great show planned for each and every one of you. And yeah, we're going to get into the first item, but I just want to see how you doing, Ronnie. How are things over there in Ronnie Land, or Ronnieville, or, yeah, the world of Ronnie?
It's doing okay. Guess what? I have to go and now change my gown for my graduation.
Yeah, you told me about that. They sent you the wrong gown. They sent you the wrong gown to graduate in.
Yeah, And I just found out, and today's the last day to order them. So now I have to order my different gown because it doesn't match anybody else.
Talk about great timing.
Put the wrong line. Yeah.
Talk about excellent timing, University of Phoenix.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But we have a great, awesome speaker that's going to be there, and a Tom Brokaw.
Yeah, you told me. Tom Brokaw. Great television journalist right there.
Yeah.
Wow, legendary. That's going to be great. That's going to be very interesting to listen to. People, these universities, these colleges that pick their speakers, some colleges focus more on the entertainment aspect, while some colleges focus more on maybe more of an intellectual factor, maybe somebody that has affected society in a positive way, somebody that has done a lot for the United States of America, a lot for the world, basically making a change or a bunch of changes by instilling whatever it is they're instilling, whether they speak for a living on the air, a radio show, a television show, whether they write for a living, whether they visit different countries and help out in certain ways, whether there are philanthropists or whatever. Musicians are also in the picture. They're on the entertainment side, but they try to change the world the way they do by of course, giving back to the communities and so forth. So athletes, too. So you try to bring in speakers that have a background to them, a bit of a background to them, and they can, of course, spread all of what they've done in their lifetime to everybody that's listening in the audience. So Tom Brokaw is going to be a great, great guest.
Not just a beehive either. He actually has, smarts.
Yeah, no, he is very smart, legendary television broadcaster, journalist. So you're definitely in for quite a bit with.
Think of everything that he has witnessed into his entire career. That is going to be so awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Hopefully, get an autograph, get a picture.
Oh, that's amazing. Absolutely. He what network was he on? ABC or was it NBC?
NBC.
NBC, the nightly news, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, NBC Nightly News. Tom Brokaw. Wow. Awesome. That's great. I'm so happy for you. Listen to him, Ronnie. Listen to what he has to say.
I will be.
Absolutely. All righty. So we found out what's going on in Ronnieville, but we've got something to talk about here, and you have to admit to me, Ronnie, that you miss it a little bit, just a teeny bit here. Yeah, that's right. Rebecca Black's Friday video has been taken off of YouTube, and it's garnered, I think it was approaching 170 million views. Many of those views were from people that had disliked the video, but nonetheless, it had become a viral sensation. Well, Rebecca Black wasn't too happy about what Arc Music Factory, they're the studio that, of course, produced the video and so forth, and what they did was they offered it up on YouTube for $2.99 for people to rent, whereas people could simply watch it for free. I guess they wanted to make a little extra on the video and the song. Well, Rebecca is not happy about it. She feels that she obtains enough rights to do what she wants with the song. Her mother actually, I believe it cost the mother $2,000, $2,000 to have this video made. She paid an extra $2,000 to obtain extra rights to this video and the song for cases like this. So due to copyright infringement issues, YouTube was forced to remove the video from their service. You admit you miss it a little bit, I think. You miss it a teeny bit.
Okay, I miss it a little. I like the song a little.
You like it a little bit.
Okay.
You do. You like it a little bit.
Yes, I admit it.
Yeah?
It had a catchy beat.
That's the thing, and we talked about it just this past episode. Hit songs and so forth, the beat of a song, how it sounds, rather than the lyrical content. A song could be catchy. You could hate the lyrical content, but if it's a catchy song, you're going to dance around to it. You're going to listen to it over and over and over again. It's going to be appealing to you, and that's why so many of these songs, people bash the lyrics, but you can't bash the fact that the song is actually getting around because people are listening to it. Exposure's exposure.
This is what kills me about this. Why did they wait? So they waited until they knew how many viewers she was going to get, negative or positive.
Right.
and then decide to charge $2.99 after we've already witnessed it, we've watched it, several people already have it.
Right.
I mean, come on. That doesn't even make any sense to me with this company. I don't believe that they thought that she was going to make it as far as she did.
No, I don't think she. I don't think she. No, she knows.
No, she didn't.
She stated that she didn't think she was going to make.
Yeah.
You have to, just like anything else, anything you're going to do, expecting that you're going to become a viral sensation. For people that are posting videos on YouTube because they look at all of these viral videos, note that looking at them all, it might look like there are a lot of viral videos, but note that there's so many videos uploaded every second to YouTube that the percentage of viral videos is slim to none. So your chances of becoming a viral sensation, very slim to none. You got to think about that. You have to, because how many videos are there on YouTube? There are millions, hundreds of millions out there. So how is everybody out there in the world going to search for each and every one of those videos? It's kind of the herd mentality effect. People are going to flood to whatever's popular. And if your video does not happen to be in that category, well, you're out of luck right there. Now, is there a chance that you're going to become a viral sensation if your video clicks? Yeah, but it's not a very good chance. Now, thanks to marketing and social media, you can better your chances, but the snowball effect is only in your favor if a bunch of people flood to your video or to whatever source it is that people are going to flood to.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, she's been on nightly shows, different concerts she's actually been in and just showed up there. So I think that they just thought that, they only received $4,000 for what has turned out to be surmountable. Now they're just trying to dig their hooks in. I guess that's not going to work because the parents did pay $4,000 to actually have rights to this song. So I'm anxious to find out what litigation says. But to take it off, there's all kinds of copies out there.
Well, Arc Music didn't Arc Music made $4,000 on this video. They didn't expect most of the videos, actually all of the videos but Rebecca Black's, are just basic. They have maybe a couple of thousand hits, if that. They probably didn't expect Rebecca Black's video to go viral it themselves. So they made $4,000, like a quick $4,000. We'll produce the video for you. And even that seems like it's a little low. They still made money nonetheless. Now, just so happened to be that Rebecca Black is a viral sensation. She's also in Katy Perry's latest video too. So it just goes to show you that now this is where the legal issues come into play. Who obtains more rights? Because now Rebecca Black is in the public's eye. All of the other musicians that are part of Arc Music are not in the public's eye. Rebecca Black is in the public's eye. So now Arc Music is like, we have a gold mine here. We didn't expect this. We made $4,000. Let's get greedy. Now we want more. And, well, if you were Arc Music, I think you'd want more too. Because Rebecca Black is a viral sensation. She's known all around the world now. She was approaching 200 million views on YouTube. Now, many of them were dislikes, but still, exposure is exposure. And Arc Music knows there's money to be made, and that's why they tried. They tried with this $2.99 fee they placed on a video on YouTube. Yeah,
retroactive does not count.
What's up?
Retroactive does not count in this case. I think that's what they tried to do with her. But, I don't really know, but didn't Arc Music, aren't they the ones that produced the video? Not only that, but were in the video themselves, because they're just two individuals that started out with this.
Well, I'm sure they hired people. They hired the kids that were in the video and so forth. But I wouldn't doubt that the two producers were in it too. Then again, if they're producing it, or whoever's filming it, somebody else had to have been filming it then. I don't know how exactly it works. I don't know all about Arc Music, but I just know that the producers, they received $4,000 from Rebecca Black's mother to produce a video for Rebecca Black. And now it's a viral hit. It's been a viral hit. Now, Rebecca Black's not happy about the fact that her video was up on YouTube for $2.99. So this is really a fight as to who owns more rights. And it sounds to me that Rebecca Black's mother did a smart thing by paying $2,000 more to retain more than 51% or more than 50%, because if the blacks own 51%, they own the majority. They own the majority of the video. They own the majority of the song rights. So they have the say as to where the song goes, whether the song's going to make money or not, or be posted on YouTube for $2.99 or whatever. They have the say. Now, according to according to TMZ, gossip site TMZ, they announced this explanation right here for the tight lips and evasive responses that we were receiving from YouTube. They were not very thorough at all. YouTube gave TechCrunch literally nothing. TechCrunch wanted to gain some information as to why Rebecca Black's video was taken off. But TMZ issued this explanation here, quote, apparently Black's people have threatened legal action against ARC, claiming the company is wrongfully exploiting her image and her song because ARC does not, I repeat, does not own the rights to either the song nor the video. Now, you figured Rebecca Black's the musician here. You would think she's the leader behind all of this. Many cases, the musician only retains as many rights as they do because there are other people involved. You have the producers, you have the team that also retains a certain amount of the rights per song, whatever team they're on, whether it's whomever, whatever musician, whatever artists. So the musician can only do so much. Surely they're singing, they're the ones performing, but they only retain so many rights. This is a different scenario because this is a vanity production company, a vanity studio that produced this video. And apparently whoever purchases, I guess, a video or whatever, however they do it, obtains a certain percentage of the rights to that video. The Blacks thought, you know what, let me pay a little extra and obtain the majority rights. And that sounds like what they did. That sounds like exactly what they did here.
That's what it sounds like. But the writer that wrote the song also pertains certain rights. So there's so many different rights. Just to divide it down the middle is not going to happen because when I'm not a copyright lawyer of any kind, but still you have the ones that wrote the music. They hold so many rights. Production holds the rights. The studio holds the rights. Really, all she did was just, she sang the song. She performed it on YouTube. They didn't realize it was going to be as far as it was. That's the dispute, I think, as it is right now. To me, she's really not, just because she has a name, Rebecca Black. She got a lot of negative views on this song. She is making it in different ways. I don't know if it's a power trip on some of the stars, such as Katy Perry, feeling sorry for her as putting her into the video. Because actually, if you think, she really can't sing. She cannot sing. Neither can I, though, either. But still, I think that when it goes to court, I'm kind of concerned of how much, because you cannot actually have all those people involved in a song
and not have
those rights.
Right. When it comes to the ownership rights of songs, and it's very, very the waters are very murky. Really, really are, if you think about it, because you've got the composer, you've got the songwriter, and Rebecca Black did not write this song. They didn't. She didn't. Arc Music wrote this song, or whoever was associated with Arc Music. So the songwriter, much like any literary composer for that matter, they're going to retain a certain percentage of the song. Now, yes, according to this article on digitallife.today.com, according to the New York Times, this was a quote from the New York Times, quote, "Well, Black's mother knew the video would go online. She knew other young performers who had worked with ARC, and their views reached only a few thousand, if that. It never crossed her mind that millions of people would pay any attention to her daughter, Rebecca. She did take some precautions, paying an additional $2,000 so that Rebecca, not ARC, owned the master of her video, bringing the total cost to obviously $4,000, twice what has been widely reported. Now, Kelly, her mother, says she paid it in installments because she did not have it all at once, but adds that it was a worthwhile investment, similar to what one would pay for a month of sleepaway camp or private school. Now, according to this, she secured the rights to the song. However, what's going to happen, and there's probably going to be litigations going on. There's going to be a courtroom situation, I'm sure, right? If that is the case, we're going to find out exact percentages if this is the case, because clearly it's gotten to that level. Just put yourself, Ronnie, in Arc Music's shoes. If you're Arc Music, you're going to do whatever you can to try to obtain master rights, or at least enough rights to make more money on this. Because if you're Arc Music, you've got a gold mine here in Rebecca Black, right?
Right. You're not going to get the artist, 51% or over as far as ownership of that song. You want some kind of legality to hold on to.
Right.
So that kind of makes me think that they have the majority for them to have been on there to charge, that they just weren't aware of it as far as Rebecca Black and her family.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see this because Rebecca Black started as an absolute nobody, and now she's a somebody. She's been on numerous talk shows. She's in Katy Perry's latest video. She's already focusing on other music and album. She's probably going to tour soon. Even though there's many dislikes, she still has a pretty large fan base. So she's making quite a bit of money. As a matter of fact, she's bringing in $25,000 a week. You're probably saying, that's not a lot, JJ. Oh, yeah? Would you like to make $100,000 a month? I think so. Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot. Talking about quite a bit a year. So she's doing quite well, and it's only going to increase for Black. And so forth. Will we see Friday back on YouTube? Opinion, Ronnie. Assumption. Yes or no?
Yes, we will.
All right.
Will see it back on YouTube.
Okay. We'll definitely see if that's the case. I think it will be on. I think it will be back on YouTube too. I think it would be if Rebecca Black has anything to do with it, she definitely wants it back on YouTube because the reason she took it off was because Arc Music decided to charge per YouTube's rental service $2.99 to download the song. Just put it on your MP3 player or your iPod or whatever, or if you wanted to have it on your computer. Then again, 167 people saw it for free. So yeah. I think Rebecca is in her right mind here to leave it on there for free. She is going to focus on different ways, other ways to make money, and just like any other artist for that matter.
Oh, yeah.
Album sales, song sales, touring, merchandise. She knows what she's doing, I think. Even as a young teen, she's been very professional throughout this whole thing. The death threats, and she really has. I'm very, very, very impressed with how she's handled this. So I may not be a huge fan of the song, but how she's handling it as a teen is pretty spectacular. All right. We're going to move into the associations. That is right, this part of the show where Ronnie and I, we associate things, just random things in society, certain things, stories that have to do with each episode number. Pretty fun part of the show here, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. But before we do so, it is time to thank our sponsor. Yeah, that is right. This portion of the 281st episode of Take Two is brought to you by Audible.com. And we thank Audible for their generous support of the Take Two program, as well as the Voices on the Net network. Now listen up, because Ronnie and I have an excellent deal for each and every one of you. We really do. Now, Audible is home to over 85,000 audiobooks. Yeah, 85,000 and counting. They're always adding great audiobooks to their service. And the thing is, the deal that Ronnie and I have for you requires you to take advantage of a 14-day free trial and a free audiobook. You don't have to spend a dime whatsoever. No risk involved. Pretty great offer if I say so myself. Yeah. Even if you're not an avid reader, you take advantage of this offer because the auditory experience is one in its own. If you enjoy watching movies, you enjoy watching TV, you enjoy listening to music or your favorite radio shows, you enjoy listening to your media rather than traditionally reading it word for word, well, chances are you're going to like Audible. Check it out. audibletrial.com/take2 is the link. audibletrial.com/take2 to take advantage of your free audiobook and your 14-day, your 2-week free trial. You'd be glad you did. As always, we thank Audible for their support of the Take Two program as well as the Voices on the Net network. Once again, the link is www.audibletrial.com/take2. All right, Ronnie, do you want to start us off with an association? I know you've got a few of them over there for us. So
yes, I do. How about Chevy in February of this year, 2011, sold 281 Chevy Volts. That's it. No more and no less. Could be because they're fugly.
They're fugly. Oof. You almost slipped there. You almost slipped there. That wouldn't have been good. We don't like that word on the show. Yeah. So
they're not pretty looking.
So only 281 Chevy Volts in February of 2011. That's it. Nothing else.
Nothing else. Mm-mm.
Actually, I'm pulling it up.
They're real little. I mean, it has room for you, maybe a cat, a bag of groceries.
I'm pulling it up right here. Yeah, it's not the greatest looking car. No. Not my type of car, but to each their own. 281 Chevy Volts. Well, I guess that would. I guess you would call that an epic fail.
Yes.
Thank you for your association. I've got one for you here. Anybody want to buy a boat? Anybody want to buy a boat? Well, Do you want to spend $215 million for that boat?
Not really, no.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think many of you listening would want to either. Well, you're looking for a new yacht. There's a 281-foot boat, a mega yacht for sale, built by Director Shipyards in Bridgeport, Connecticut. The yacht took to the water for the first time last October of 2010, and, well, it could be yours for the price of $215 million. Yeah, a lot of money, huh? Wow. The owner is Charles Gallagher, a Denver private equity investor, and he took possession of this boat only last fall after 4 years of monitoring its construction and visiting the Bridgeport shipyard many times. And, well, he's looking to cash in quite a bit and a nice payday for this 281-foot mega yacht, $215 million. Wow. I don't even know if I had the money I would buy a boat that expensive. That's a lot of money, but 281 foot, that's huge. It's a huge boat. Wow.
It's like a love boat out on the water.
And somebody in the chat room says they'll stick with their wave runner. And I think he's right there.
There you go.
All right. You want to give us another association over there? You have any laws for us?
I have two laws, actually. One here in the United States and the first one that goes international. The first one is Athens, Clarke County in Georgia. On Mondays, it is illegal for one to whistle very loud until after 11 p.m. And the reason I chose this law is not because the law has anything to do as far as the code with 281, but there has been 281 people arrested based on this law since 1991.
So I couldn't whistle until after 11 p.m. at night or before. Wait, what? After 11 p.m. So at night I can whistle. So in other words,
up until 11 p.m. on Monday, you cannot whistle. I think it's because everybody is hungover from the weekend.
Gotcha. See, I like to whistle. I always whistle. I'm like,
well, I wouldn't do it in Georgia.
I guess I shouldn't do it in Georgia, huh?
And in Finland, boy, their laws are written so different. But this one is interesting, JJ. Taxi drivers must pay royalties if they play music in their cars for paying customers.
Really?
And their law codes is 281-1972.
So they have to pay royalties for every single song they play in the car.
Yeah, if they have the radio on, they have to pay royalties if their customer is paying to be in the car. They consider that entertainment.
Wow. And you know what? It doesn't seem that unrealistic for people that are, say, like taxi services, that are making money by driving somebody from point A to point B to point C to point D, and so on and so on. They're making money and possibly making more money because somebody wants to listen to a song in their taxi cab, if you think about it. A song is going on, a 4-minute song, and the taxi cab driver has taken the person they're driving to their destination, and there's still 2 or 3 minutes left of the song, and the taxi cab driver is now making extra money because the person they're driving wants to stay in the car because they want to listen to the song. Understand? It makes sense. So if you think about it, not as unrealistic as some of the other laws you've brought up.
Yes, we just don't want that happening here.
No, I don't think that would be. I don't think that would be liked by many people around here.
No,
not in New
all.
Jersey, not in New York. I don't think anywhere for that matter. After all, they're gaining massive exposure by playing that song on the radio, and you would hope the radio stations are paying what they're supposed to be paying in terms of rights, too.
Yeah, so that's kind of like a double dip, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they want to make it screed. They want to make extra money. They know that if they create a law, they can make extra money on these songs. They know they can.
Okay, just no double dipping here.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I'll tell you, they never get old. These funny laws never get old. They never do. But we appreciate you giving us a couple this time. One international, too. That's unique.
First one,
I think, we've ever heard from you. All right, it's time to get into Ronnie's Stamp of Reparation on this 281st episode of Take Two, right here on the Voices on the Net Network. Let's see what Ronnie has for us. You've got the mic.
Guess who's back in the news yet again?
Who? Who's in the news?
He's an idiot.
Who is that? I didn't get that. You were kind of breaking up over there. Who's in the news?
He was
Ronnie.
Complained that he... Yes.
Can't hear you. Who's in the news? Ronnie! 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 What are you doing? We're doing a show. Come on! Who? Just give me the name.
Phantom Sleuth.
Okay, well, I still didn't get that, but go on.
Okay, anyway, he's the one that we believe is the only sole suspect of killing Natalie Holloway. But now he's in Peru prison because he killed some other female. Also in Peru. Now get this. He is in prison for pretty much her murder and being held for Natalie Holloway's murder. This guy, this whatever thing has been allowed to procreate. Oh my, you ever heard of Damien? This is what we've got going on here. He has a girlfriend. Now listen, he's killed 2 females already. They allowed another female to go in there for conjugal visits under the assumption that she was doing, chores and bringing him candy. She's now pregnant with his baby. Demon spawn comes to mind, in my opinion. This guy is never going to get out. We just so hope. But he is in the world's worst prison, the worst prison that we have in the world, and he is getting favors. He's killed 2 females that we know of and more that we probably will never find out of, and they are actually bringing women to prison for him to have as bait. Now, what kind of a weird place is this? He's behind bars, murder, and he's getting candy. You ever heard that saying? Would you like some candy, little girl? To get some favors, and now, what happened? Now she's pregnant. They won't give out her name, but just to let you know, there is a demon spawn out there, and he was allowed to procreate.
Gee, I wonder why.
That irritates me to death. He is the most arrogant guy that I've ever met in my life. Not met him in person. Just look at his face on the screen drives me crazy. Because this guy would not last long in normal society, especially bringing him here to the United States. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, he's scum. He's as scum as they come.
Scum.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand where these people are. Someone is paying, I don't know, for him to get these special favors. Because, in Peru, in this particular prison, when you look at the prison system,
right,
there are no conjugal visits. Once you're in, you're lucky. You are so lucky if you serve your sentence and get out alive.
Right.
This guy is allowed to procreate, get candy, and have someone come in and clean his cell.
Yeah. And they get to bang.
Well, yeah.
Apparently.
Free of charge,
Man,
obviously.
He's getting the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them in prison, they're not as lucky.
No, he is with the harshest murderers that you can find in Peru in this prison.
Yeah.
He's the only one having these candy favors.
Yeah.
Eye candy, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, she's going in there and allowed to clean his little cell, polish his little whatever.
And then give him a happy ending at the end of the day.
Yeah, kind of like a happy meal, and then we're stuck with the demon spawn.
Oh boy. Well, yeah, we were trying to get the name out. We had some technical difficulties on Ronnie's end, but we finally got the name, Jordan Vandersloot. We got it finally. Yeah.
Sloth.
Yeah. Sloth. Well, thank you for your stamp of reparation as always, Ronnie. We appreciate what you have to say. It is now time to go to the break, but you don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to head anywhere, folks. Actually, stay put, because Ronnie and I are going to be back very shortly. We've got quite a bit to talk about during the second segment on this 281st episode of the show. Apple, get this, folks. Apple wants to prevent... No. Wants to restrict. I repeat, wants to restrict people from filming concerts, sporting events, you name it. They want to restrict you from doing that. Well, if they get their way, folks, if they get their way, an approved patent application would allow Apple to install technology that would work in tandem with, say, infrared sensors at venues where concerts would be performing at, or sporting events, so that if you took your iPhone out to record, it would disable your camera at that venue. Keep your phone activated, disable your camera. Huh? What the heck is Apple thinking here? Because I think just about any of us has a digital camera. Just about any one of us has a backup phone, even a dumb phone with a camera. I don't know. I know a lot of patents get sent in, and many of them don't get approved. But this one just seems way out of whack. Yeah, that means no more YouTube videos from those Jovi or Springsteen concerts. We're going to talk about this, as well as why are we seeing more and more top 10 articles on the web? You know what I think. I think you guys and gals listening know what I'm talking about here. Yeah, you go on the web, you notice that there's a top 10 list here, a top 10 list there, a top 10 list here, a top 10 list there. Why do you think that's the case? Is this a ploy to dumb down a society a bit because we can't read a full article? Or is there too much data out there, too much content out there that they can include a lot of information in a shorter article by bullet pointing what they're bullet pointing, different facts and so forth, different parts of the article, top 10 lists. Well, we're going to talk about this. We'll give you 10 reasons why. Or maybe not, but we'll try. Also, your blast from the past coming up at the end of the program. We're going to do the movie report, but not today. Not today. We'll give you a great second segment nonetheless. So you don't want to go anywhere. Ronnie and I return right after the break, so stay tuned. Hey, everybody, welcome back to episode number 281. That is right. Episode number 281 of the show, Take Two, right here on the Voices on the Net Network. Thank you all for tuning in. It is immensely appreciated. As Ronnie and I have returned for the second segment of the program, and we have so much to talk about. We're going to be talking about Apple wanting to restrict people from using their iPhones to film concerts, sporting events, you name it. Yeah. Also, why are we seeing more and more top 10 lists out there? We're going to talk about both of those, including your blast from the past coming up at the end of the program, so you want to stay tuned. A great second segment itinerary for you. But before Ronnie and I get into all of the good stuff, if all of you right now tuned in would please visit www.vonthenet.com. That is right, the Voices on the Net Network's website, where you, the great listeners, will be able to find more information regarding the Voices on the Net Network. And all you need to do is go up to the top of the website where you will see the About link. You click it. It will take you to a web page providing you everything you need to know pertaining to the Voices on the Net network. And in thorough detail, that is right. If you're new to the network and you know absolutely nothing about this network, that page will give you everything you need to know. Now, you can also check out podcasts of any of the episodes from any of the shows, all available on demand for and at your very own convenience. Probably the greatest features on the website right there. There's also articles, so much content for you. Check it out, www.vonthenet.com. Couldn't have timed that perfectly. Any more perfect. Hit right at the end of that song. Awesome.
Excellent.
All of those shows, great practice, paid off. Wow. Awesome. All right, what do you say we get into the first item? By the way, how are you, Ronnie? How was your break? Everything good? Everything going well?
Cool, nice back, and now I'm ready.
Nice and ready to go, huh?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Let's start off with the first item on the itinerary here. Apple, the gigantic technology company Apple, what they want to do, they would like their patent to be approved because apparently they want to help the music industry, the sporting industry, whether it's the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, you name it, whether it's a Jovi concert, an AC/DC concert, a Lady Gaga concert, a Rebecca Black concert, or a Springsteen concert, they want to restrict people from using their iPhones to take video. I'm sure pictures too. Basically, what would happen if their application is approved, it would be software on the iPhone that would disable anybody using their iPhones at a venue due to the infrared sensors that would be installed at these venues. Your phone would be still be activated, but the phone's camera would not be. Do you think Apple's going a bit too far right here? And if they're not going a bit too far, people can simply, even if they are or if they aren't, people could simply take their digital camera from home or another cell phone. They don't necessarily have to use an iPhone to take video. Now, we know the iPhone has a great camera on it. But I thought the whole point of having a camera installed is to use it, too. So there are so many different factors here. Where do you stand with this? Or how do you feel about this? And what do you think about it?
It's almost to the point where they're kind of teaming up with an enemy, doesn't it? Because you could have my phone. My phone's a dumb phone. I can still take it in there and do the same thing. Is that going to stop me?
Right.
No. I mean, and it'd still go on YouTube if I wanted to go on YouTube. But how are the videos getting on YouTube? Hello, you have to be there. Not everybody is going to go there is going to put this on YouTube. Whose side is Apple on? I do understand that they are in it, of course, to make money. But come on, Apple. How many patents have they applied for? They receive it, but they never ever use it. It's almost like they're trying to take the industry, so it's hard to tell what side are they on. Are they pretending to be on the side of the quote entertainment industry, or is it just to prevent other applications or other phones, other devices from being able to use this? If they're going to patent it and receive the patent, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to use it, but they retain the rights over it. So maybe it's not so envious after all. Maybe it is to prevent this from happening to other users. Who knows? But with this, I'm not in agreement, of course, of preventing you from being able to video if you're going to video. I mean, you bought a ticket, you're there, you're at the venue, you're taking a picture. What's the big deal?
Right.
I don't see a big deal to this. Now, is Apple doing it for the betterment of them, of the entertainment industry? Because I don't see it as that. But maybe, perhaps, just maybe, they are actually on the side of us to stop other companies from, taking up a copyright or a patent and preventing us from doing so. So it's hard to tell which side of the aisle Apple's actually on this one.
Well, what they would do is if this software were to be created, what it would do is it would simply disable the cameras from even being used. So nobody using an iPhone would be able to take any video and or pictures from those concerts to upload to YouTube. Now, what they want to do, developing this new software program to do that, and this idea is not new because I remember back in early 2010, they actually came forth with something similar, if not this idea. They wanted to do this, but I don't think the patent was approved. Otherwise, it would have been done. Now they're coming back with it, hoping that their patent application is approved for them to do this. And of course, as I stated before, concert organizers. We focus on concerts, sporting events too, but we'll focus on concerts here. Concert organizers would install the infrared sensors inside the venue, probably right near the stage, I would think. And anybody using an iPhone, it would detect those iPhone users that have their cameras activated, and they would simply automatically switch them off. Talk about a major hackathon.
Yeah.
Not even using your, not even shutting it off yourself, and somebody else is doing it for you. But iPhone users would still be able to access their phone's features in terms of text messaging. If you want to call somebody, surf the net even, just it would disable the camera app in the iPhone.
So they're just going to target just the iPhone. That's it. Nothing else. So if you went in there with a teen phone, you went in there with a Netflix phone in there, it's not going to affect that. So what purpose is it going to do? Because they think that the iPhone is popular. Of course it is. But what happens if, somebody else brings in a different phone? And, what happens if Roddy comes in there and she has a different phone?
Forget about a different phone. Forget about a different phone. What if somebody goes in there with a digital camera, which is a camera in its own? I mean, most people...
It's not going to stop anything from happening. It's still going to make YouTube. So it's a pointless patent.
It only made things a lot more convenient for those that went to concerts and sporting events that wanted to take pictures and or videos because they didn't have to lug around an extra device and a camera. They simply had a great camera. The iPhone has an awesome camera. I mean, it's so great. It's as clear as anything. That's why people use the iPhone camera and they take the videos. And Apple knows that due to the great technology they've instilled in the iPhone, by giving those that bought the iPhone a great camera, they know, well, people are not going to at least be able to record high-quality videos, at least on this device. They want to use another phone that has a great camera or another camera, digital camera that they're going to pay money for, extra money for. If they already don't have it, well, they could do that. But we want to do our part and disable the phone so we could protect copyright laws and so forth and rights.
How
from
much
these.
are they getting paid?
Oh, they're getting paid a ton of money here from these from the musicians and whoever's in charge, sporting events, because clearly they're in on this too. It wouldn't only be Apple.
It disgusts me why they're allowed to do I mean, Apple has applied for other patents. Not all of them have been approved, as you noted, but some have been, and they've just held on to it. They've not actually implemented the program. So are they going to do the same thing with this? I don't know what their intentions are. It just seems to me that they're targeting it. It's a pointless patent, really. They're just targeting the iPhone. not other phones, because the dumb phones, how are they going to be able to do anything with that is not even on their same circuit? So
Well,
I don't see how it's a pointless patent only for iPhone and targeted strictly for them.
well, remember, it's not through the internet here, Ronnie. They're using infrared technology. Remember that. So circuit or not, I don't know. Did you seriously just use
I
same
said circuit.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, it's not going to, if I bring in a little tiny, I mean, I have a little video camera, not a phone, just a little tiny camera. I can go in there and do the same exact thing that I could do with my phone if I wanted to. It's not going to be detected. The infrared's not going to stop me from videoing. And you're lucky that they're lucky to even be able to see that I have it.
Right. It just leads me to believe that they want to. What it sounds like to me, and I'm going to make this bold statement. Maybe it's not as bold because we know Apple is keen in making money. They overprice their products, and people pay for those products because those products are good. People are going to pay for them. They spend the time on these. Apple's a very ingenious company. We know they are. They know what they're doing. So clearly this is a money-making scheme because nobody else is involved. It's only Apple, and it's so easy to use another camera to take the same pictures and or video that your iPhone would take. So clearly they think, all right, let's do our part by protecting the rights to the musicians and protecting the rights of event organizers and TV broadcasters that have the exclusive rights to film, say, an event and so forth. Let's do our part, but you have to guarantee, or almost guarantee, at least to yourself, you're self-conscious that they're making plenty of money off of this deal because, well, they wouldn't be doing it otherwise, I don't think, because it's only them involved and nobody else. So think about that right there. You target your self-conscious and guarantee to yourself that they're actually involved with making money with this.
No, not to mention the fact they get this patent. Look how many people can buy into this particular patent.
Right.
And it'll be open circuits for that. So now we're thinking about where else will they be able to do this? Will businesses be able to put this into their own business, the infrared, that will stop the videotaping? I mean, how far are they willing to go with this patent? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to go. If they receive this patent, somebody wants to buy into it, they are darn tootin' going to do so. Where is the stopping point with this? I mean, how far is Apple going to go? Is it strictly going to be for these type of venues, or is it going to be used on outside sources that we're not even going to be aware of? So is the video going to be almost useless if the patent becomes available?
No, absolutely. And I just think that with what and there are people that would probably welcome this with open arms, people that go to the concert simply to watch a concert. You don't have to be blocked by the sea of phone users that are recording the concerts. I mean, you go to a concert, if you have ever been to a concert recently, oh my goodness, more than 70% of the place has a phone up trying to take footage. I mean, it's gotten crazy with what technology is allowing us to do. No matter what band you're trying to look up on YouTube on the internet, more than likely less than 24 hours later, you're going to see a sea of videos from different people at these concerts because they have the technology to record these videos, and in great quality too. The quality has improved a lot. But you also think, well, isn't this a bit redundant that Apple gave us such a great camera? Obviously, it's going to be used by people. If you're out in the open and you record something that happens to infringe on copyright, you get in trouble. Well, they gave us the camera in the first place. People are going to use it in certain places. And if they're caught by security, if they're caught by the organization at that venue, well, then they're caught. It's the way it is. I think it's kind of redundant that Apple has given those of us that purchased an iPhone a great camera. Now they want to take away the ability to use that camera that they've provided to us at even if it's a concert or a sporting event, whatever. I think it's ridiculous. Personally.
It's wrong. To me, it's personally wrong. We also have there's patents out there that prevent you from using your cell phones in certain areas. It'll cut it off to where you're not allowed to even use a cell phone. So this is almost an advancement to that. Now, Apple, I don't know what their intentions are in this. Are they going to use the patent? That's another thing that I think that needs to be addressed because they have, as I said before, applied for patents, received the patent, but have never used the technology to do anything with it. It was almost to hold it maybe for future use, whenever they want to, or to prevent others from obtaining that same type of information. So I guess we'll find out what happens when it either as approved or not approved.
Yeah. If you go to patentlyapple.com, patentlyapple.com, that's patentlyapple.com. You can see all of the patents that Apple would like to, of course, be approved. They would like their patent applications to be approved. And you could actually see a diagram of how this would be, how this would be set up. If you were to go to a venue, for instance, and use your phone, use your iPhone's camera, there would be infrared sensors at the top of the stages, the bottom of the stages, and around the venue. And anytime you would use your iPhone, it would disable the recording right as you're trying to turn the camera on. Boom! It's now disabled when you're in the venue until you leave. You try and click the camera, it will say disabled. Imagine how scary that is. It seems, and I'm going to use this word, it seems excessively draconian.
A violation.
Well, it seems
it's almost like
draconian. It really does.
Yeah. But when you're sitting here and they're putting this around us, now what's going to happen is that our tickets are now going to raise for these venues to be able to go to because they're going to install this type of equipment. How much is it going to cost us now to go to a concert?
You wonder.
It's going to be passed on to somebody.
It's just funny because Apple wants to do this, and while many tickets say the use of cameras and so forth are prohibited, but it's funny that these acts, these musicians, I've been to plenty of concerts, they pose for the camera, they do this, they do that. Clearly, they don't have a problem with it. It's the organizers that do. So now you have that line between artist and organization. Now, Apple's clearly getting money from the organization. Definitely not the musicians because they pose. John poses for the cameras all the time. He's even admitted to using YouTube to check out. For instance, when he tore his calf muscle at the final New Meadowlands Stadium show, he checked YouTube to see exactly how severe it was. So I'm sure he had a great quality video, but maybe it wasn't set up in time. He wanted to check it when he got home. Who knows? When he got back to the hotel, I don't know. But he even admitted to that. So I just think it's a bit too much. I don't think this is. It didn't get passed the first time. Who knows if it's going to get passed this time? But we will definitely see. We will find out in due time. We do have to move on to the next item, though, on the itinerary for the second segment on this 281st episode of Take Two, right here on the Voices on the Net Network. Ronnie and I hope all of you are enjoying the show as much as we enjoy co-hosting it for all of you. We're going to talk about why the web seems to have more top 10 lists out there. You notice if you go to an article, more than likely it's probably going to include maybe in the side where you can access a top 10 list article. Or maybe the article you're reading at that time is a top 10 list. So we're going to talk about why the web seems to have more of those. Why are those types of articles flourishing? I think Ronnie has quite a few things that she'd like to add to this. I do too, so we're going to talk about that. Also, your blast from the past coming up at the end of the program, so don't go anywhere. But before we get into the next item, it is time to thank our sponsor. That is right. This portion of the 281st episode of Take Two is brought to you by Audible.com. And we thank Audible for their generous support of the Take Two program as well as the Voices on the Net Network. Now listen up, folks, because Ronnie and I have a brilliant deal for you, a brilliant offer, a great offer for all of you. And you guys and gals don't even have to spend a dime. No risk involved whatsoever. Audible, we know, is home to over 85,000 audiobooks and counting, always adding great audiobooks to their service. Well, with no risk involved, we don't even have to spend a dime. We'll give you a 14-day free trial, a 2-week free trial, that is, and also a free audiobook to browse the 85,000-plus audiobooks offered at Audible. So such an awesome deal, an awesome offer. Why wouldn't you take advantage of this? Go to www.audibletrial.com/take2 right now to take advantage. audibletrial.com/take2 to take advantage. Even if you're not an avid reader, even if you don't pick up a book regularly or a magazine or you read the many articles on the internet traditionally, word for word, more than likely you enjoy listening to the news feeds on TV, the news channels. You watch movies, you watch TV shows, you listen to music, your favorite radio shows, your favorite podcasts on your MP3 player or your computer. The auditory experience is a bit different than traditionally reading the visual experience. And let's say you want to enjoy your favorite book while you're relaxing. You could do that. Place your headphones on, listen to your favorite book, and relax with your eyes closed at the same time. Talk about multitasking. It's a great service. Really the premier one on the web. Be glad you checked this out. Receive your free audiobook and your 14-day free trial at audibletrial.com/take2. No risk involved. As always, we thank Audible for their support of Take Two as well as the Voices on the Net network. All right, moving into the next item right here, we're going to talk about why top 10 lists are showing up more than ever on the web. And I'm sure many of you listening right now or watching have noticed that too. There really is an excessive amount of these top 10 lists out there. There's actually an article on discovermagazine.com, blogs.discovermagazine.com. Ronnie and I are going to base our discussion off of this. They've mentioned 10 reasons why they think we're seeing more top 10 lists. But before getting into this, I want to hear your opening statements about this. Now, I'm sure you research as much as you can, obviously for the show, for school. Have you seen more top 10 lists? Have you as you search through Google or whatever search engine you use, so forth, rather than traditional articles?
Yes, I do. I see a lot more of that. I think what it does do for some people, because everyone's on the go, lots of things. We're a fast-paced society now. It pulls out the most important features. I'm kind of a bullet point person. I want to see exactly what's in there, because some of the articles that you come across or resources have a lot of fill-in information. Maybe it's not as important as the top 10 things that can actually come out of a specific article. And you'll see down to the side of it, it points out the important elements of this article. So do you want to go ahead and read that article? It kind of gives you a chance. Do you want to read it or not? Plus, I don't know, maybe some of us are a tad lazy and do not want to go out there and do some more research to come up with that. But I think the big point of it is to pull out the most important facets that we have in those lists.
Right. It's a very, the thing is, more than likely you're going to be reading an article that happens to include bullet points, a top 5, a top 10, and so forth. It's interesting as they focus on top 10, top 10, top 10, top 10. Even if there aren't 10 reasons, they'll wing it and add a couple of reasons in between, in the middle, more than likely in the middle. It's similar to a song. You have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Similar to an article, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Well, a top 10 list will start off strong, maybe lull in the middle, and then pack it at the end by really going out with a bang. And if you've noticed that there are a lot of articles on the internet that happen to include bullet points or a top 10 list, you figure, listen, there's a massive deluge of data out there, a huge wave of data and information. So if people can include the same amount of information they would include in a traditional maybe 5 or 6 paragraph or 7 paragraph article, and maybe a top 10 list that's half the size, half the length, why not do it when you're going to retain as much information from that as you would from a traditional article? So they figure, why not do that and save the people time, the readers time, because we know that there are a lot of people with attention spans that may not be as long as, may not be as extended in length as, say, 20 years ago. There have been debates, there have been studies, there have been reports showing that people like shorter. Whether it's a podcast, whether it's a radio show, whether it is a TV show. Why do you think songs are a lot shorter these days? You go back 25 years ago, songs would break the 6-minute mark easily. Now, if you see a song breaking 3.5 minutes, it's rare. Because people like shorter. They want to get more in. They want to get more out. They want to get more content out. They include a shorter stint of a music file, a song, or an article. You can maybe include more, and you can get more out of multiple articles rather than just one. So they include the top 10 list to do that. That's one of the many reasons. And in this article where it talks about why we may be seeing the excessive amount of top 10 lists out there, one of the points that's brought up that I thought really targets this, and we should talk about it, Ronnie and I, the size of our working memory only goes so far. Now, you have short-term memory, you have long-term memory. We know that. How much can we store in our short-term memory that will be transferred over to our long-term memory before we lose the information? We can only retain so much. Before we lose it. Many cases, you ask somebody to maybe read back an article they read to you, they're only going to be able to read the final part of it, or say the beginning part of it. That plays a massive role. With these top 10 lists, it gives us less. It gives us less to retain, but still giving us the same quality of content that you would receive than you would receive in a longer article. And in some cases, one would argue this is dumbing down society. But I don't look at it like this. I look at it, we're now approaching a time where the deluge of data, for writers, this is a time against writers here. I'm telling you. As a writer, I'm telling you this. I'm saying this. Because writers used to make a lot more money than they do now. If you make money as a writer, you're lucky. Because everybody and their mother can write for free via their blog. You don't need to hire professional writers because the content is out there for you. You research it, you learn to write, you write. It's all for free. You don't have to spend much, if any, money. So it's a lot different now with the amount of content out there. The quality might be to be determined. You don't know what you're getting. But if you know how to weed out the bad quality articles versus the good ones, you're set. You're set.
I don't think it's dumbing down society by any means, because we do have, when you're more fast-paced, you have a lot more going on in your brain that you're going on. And what we tend to retain in our memory is what we are familiar with. Something that interests us, has to pique our interest, that we're able to identify with. I think that is the biggest ingredient that we have now. I mean, how many stories can you look up, or even doing resources for class? You very rarely anymore, if you see, maybe let's go, I'm going to use a date, just like 2006 till now, that you actually see the pages where it goes next. They don't really have that anymore. They go right to the point. They want to grab the reader's attention and keep it for as long as they can, which is usually minimum of 5 paragraphs, to get as much information as they can in there for you, because they know that is about as far as you're going to go before you start they lose you. And I think that's where the bullet lists that come down, I think, is very important. Time Magazine uses that a lot because they cover a large mass of information and target different types of readers and viewers along the way. And they use those bullet points depending on where you are as a reader. Where are you at as you're able to memorize and recall later on? And they use those features. I like those features because it depends on whether or not, okay, do I really want to take the time to read this story? Is it going to be worth my while to do so? Right. I utilize those bullets to do so. The top 10 lists actually even does it even far better because it goes right to the point. There's no, a paragraph that has nothing in it. I know exactly what it's going to be when I get to that point. So you can skim and get right to where you want to be, and not, your head being filled with everything else that's in there to get confused with.
Right. Oh, the goal of a writer is not to confuse its readers. That's not their goal. So they want to try, and if they can slim an article quite a bit while still giving the reader the amount of content they would like to give them, they're going to do that, because we know there's only a certain amount of information we could store in our short-term and in our long-term memory before it's out and gone until you read it again and so forth. Well, I'm going to use a term here that many of you may not have heard of before, but I'll explain it. It's called the recency effect. And what it basically what the definition of that term is simple. If you were to ask somebody to simply read back whatever they read to you, a full article, they would only read the last maybe few sentences of the last paragraph, that is, because that's the last thing you read out of the entire article. If you go back to the first paragraph, that's maybe 15 minutes ago. The last paragraph you read, and we're talking about the last few sentences of that last paragraph, that's the last you can remember until you read it again. As say you go from paragraph to paragraph to paragraph, you retain each paragraph one at a time. There's different effects and so forth that shows this. You've got the primacy effect. You've got the recency effect. That all focuses on the different parts of an article, and that plays a major role in it, which is another reason we're seeing, I think, bullet point articles and top 10 lists, because rather than giving you paragraphs, these top 10 lists are only giving you maybe 2 or 3 sentences. So you're adding maybe what's in that 2 or 3 sentences, what you would get in a full paragraph in that one point right there. Mm-hmm. And that's the goal of a writer. And in many cases, that's a lot tougher. It's similar to business writing. You're more concise when you're writing now. You have to be, because you're not going to want to include 2 paragraphs worth of content in one bullet point. You don't. The whole point of a top 10 list is to slim it out while still providing the same quality, the same length, the same quality within that length of content by bullet pointing your content.
And that goes to prove, I remember when I first started college, they did not want you to cram for exams.
Right.
They wanted you to take the time during the initial 9 weeks to study.
Right.
And then just 2 years ago, they changed their mind. They found out that cramming actually did a college student far bettered on their exams than if they had studied for a longer length of time. Cramming, actually, the night before a test was actually useful and helpful to a student.
Well,
Same thing with these articles, because if you're thinking about it, you're doing the same thing. You're pointing out, pulling it out, and it stays and retains into the memory better because it's the last thing that you remember. The same thing with cramming for tests. It's the last thing that you remember.
Right. It's a good point because people, you go back to the recency effect, the last thing that you remembered reading plays a massive role because in many cases, and that's another strategy that may some readers may do. That's why I brought up before. It's similar to a song or an actual article. Start off, maybe a little lull in the middle, and then you go out with a bang at the end. The recency effect, remembering the last, say, paragraph, the last few sentences, they're going to try and include some of the higher points of the article within the last few sentences because of the recency effect. Because your brain is going to remember maybe that first before anything else, unless you read it again, which is yet another reason top 10 lists are created over, say, traditional articles. And, there's a lot that goes really into it, that goes into why top 10 lists are created. And I'm not even going to say it's a lot easier for a writer to create a top 10 list because it's not. Because you have to look at the traditional article, the original paragraph per paragraph article that you were going to write or you did write, and now you have to compact that article that you just wrote into a list, a bullet point format. And that's not easy to do. You have to try and figure out ways to shorten sentences and include them in each point. And you have to let it flow. It can't be mixed up. Remember, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to an article. When you're writing, has to be the same thing in a bullet point, too. Bullet point formatted article. Has to be. So it's not easy whatsoever. You don't want to lose your reader by changing the format. And I think writers have caught on to this, and that's why we are seeing many more of these top 10 lists. I really do. Because
especially when you're limited.
What's up?
You're limited
Absolutely.
time, or you're limited words as far. You have places that limit your words.
Right.
Trying to get as much information in as little as possible.
Well, they don't have to worry about limitations because if you're blogging or writing on a website, there's no limitations to how many words you can use. There's no worry about that. There's no places on a website whatsoever. I mean, if you're talking about Twitter, that's 140 characters. That has nothing to do with bullet points. So they're going to simply send their followers to a website, which has absolutely no limitations whatsoever. So that's not in question. But definitely some interesting points. If you want to check it out, go to blogs.discovermagazine.com. The title of the article is 10 Reasons We Are Seeing an Excess of Lists. 10 Reasons We Are Seeing an Excessive Lists of 10 Things We Should Know. Why are we seeing more top 10 lists out there on the web? Very interesting article. We do have to move into the blast from the past right here on the Voices on the Net Network for this 281st episode of Take Two. It is that time, Ronnie, and we'll take the time machine into the past, a past discussion that you and I went into. So what do you say we hop into the time machine and we take a ride into the past?
I'm ready to hop in.
Here we go, folks. Everybody listening, come on in. Open invitation right into the time machine. We're going to go into the past. Here you go. For 281, episode number 281, this is your blast from the past. Enjoy. Believe it or not, Ronnie, and I don't know if you knew this, but this actually happens more times than many of you maybe, and maybe you too, Ronnie, originally had thought. Laser pointers, those laser pointers, you could buy them online. I got my first one in the store. It was $20, $25. I remember, and we used to play around with them in class. We would trick the teachers. We would literally trick them out by pointing them at the board, and they would know, what's going on here? What is going on here? I'm going to take that from you. And they wouldn't even know where it's coming from. These laser pointers that actually can be quite dangerous to your retina if you are pointing them directly in your eye. And yes, some of them can go as far as an airplane pilot. An airplane. You can blind a pilot, and it can affect the way they're riding plane. So, a 27-year-old in Australia was actually arrested at Bardwell Park, which is a suburb a few kilometers west of the airport, and he was charged with using a prohibited weapon, folks, and committing an act to threaten the safety of an aircraft. He shined in a laser pointer right at the pilot. Right at the pilot. But even if a plane is all the way in the air, thousands and thousands of feet above the ground, a laser pointer can actually reach the pilot and can have negative effects. Did you know that, Ronnie?
I heard of it occurring. I just did not know that it had happened as often as they stated it happened.
Right.
That's what's scary. And even to have the pilots describe what's going on with them, because when they shine that light in there, it's not like you're pointing on a chalkboard or playing with your pet or anything. It actually lights up the entire cabin to where they can't even see where they're going, let alone land. And you might have, 250, 300 people on your plane?
Right.
That's a lot of people's lives in danger because you want to play laser tag with an airline, for crying out loud. I'm glad he got arrested. But I was not aware that it happened that often.
Well, I wasn't aware that it happened this often either. Now, clearly, Sydney, Australia is outside of the United States of America. However, I'm sure it happens a lot more than this around the entire world. But the database by the FAA, they compiled a database of the amount of laser illuminations that occur. They have a database alone in the United States of more than 3,000 reports. Yeah, 3,000 reports of people using a laser pointer. Just in the FAA alone, we're talking about using them to distract pilots. Let's not forget that people can distract those driving a car. People can distract people walking along the side of a street, wherever in town. This is just the FAA alone, and they have over 3,000 reports of people who's using these laser pointers in ways they're not supposed to be using them. So, not
just
good.
Don't want that on a plane when that occurs. That, I would say should be a stiffer penalty for that. Just, a misdemeanor or a minor felony.
Right.
You're talking about air traffic. To me, this is domestic terrorism because you know what the results of that laser is going to be.
Oh, you get in trouble.
Crashes.
You get in real trouble, Ron,
yeah.
if you do this.
So,
you'll get in real trouble. Heck yeah. There you have it. Laser tag, Ronnie. Funny. Playing laser tag with each other.
Funny you brought that up because that was the one thing I was looking for when I was on the plane to Vegas.
Yeah, you were looking for laser pointers, huh? Yeah. It's dangerous. It's amazing how many. It's not amazing that it happens, but it's amazing the amount of cases you hear on the net. You search for it in Google, you're going to find quite a few stories of people that have used laser pointers, even just randomly in the street, and it hits an airplane, and it can affect how they see. It can literally go that far. They go very, very far, and they can be quite dangerous if they hit your retina. They really can. So, got to watch out when you're using them. You really do. But
just stick with playing with your cat on the bed.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you wanna check out all of the episodes of Take Two, any of the other shows on the network, I highly recommend you do so by going to www.vonthenet.com. vonthenet.com is the link to check it out, the official Voices on the Net Network website. That's all the time Ronnie and I have for this 281st episode of Take Two, but we'll be back for the next episode to do it all over again for all of you. But until then, we sadly have to say so long for now. Take care, everybody. Much love to you all. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.